Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Lighting's a bit weird, everything's a bit weird, sounds a bit weird. I'm trying to get things running as smoothly, they never run smoothly, but as normally as possible, but I'm not very good at doing this whole, I'm good at doing this, but not this button part, so I'm sure the quality will hopefully improve within the next week or so when I ask someone else to do it for me. So for today's video, I thought let's do another YouTuber film review and let's look at Airplane Mode by Logan Paul. Now this film, I'm going to level with all of you right now when I say, first let's get into today's sponsor. Raid, was that your advert? I don't know. One of the things I like the most about Raid Shadow Legends is the shards and how you can use shards to get more and more champions. How generous of them. So right now what we're going to do, we're going to open one blue shard and see what comes out. The Coffin Smasher. Why is he smashing coffins? Bit of a strange pastime for a person to, not even a pastime, must be a full-time hobby for him to have the nickname Coffin Smasher. I guess you'll have to download Raid Shadow Legends to find out more. Have I mentioned yet, you can play this on both mobile and desktop. There have been some updates for August. First, they've added the champion fragments, which lets you collect pieces of champions that you can use to summon specific awesome champions, with special events running all of the time. There's also a new bazaar where you can load up on high value items with the gold bars you win in the tag arena, and they just extended the daily login rewards up to 270 days, with free champions available just for logging in. It's been a crazy month for updates, so there's never a better time to start playing. Go to the video description, click on the special links, and if you are a new player, you will get 50,000 silver, plus 50 gems, plus 1 energy refill, plus 1 clan boss key, plus 5 mystery shards, plus 1 day XP booster, plus 1 free champion, the Executioner. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. Once again, thank you Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video, so let's get into it. I will be amazed if Raid let me get away with that advert. So this film, Jesus Christ, after I finished watching it, I just felt kind of sad. And the script certainly reflects that. There's actually not much in the way of critique, commentary, or even joke making in the script, as I just describe what I see in varying degrees of bafflement as we go through the video. And I have a friend who I'm going to be starting a podcast with, but my friend, we were video chatting and I was reading my script to him. He helped me with the Shane Dawson one as well. Incredibly smart, brilliantly talented friend I have. And throughout me reciting my script to him, he would just kind of look at me through the phone and occasionally just go. And I think that succinctly sums up this film. So without further ado, let's get on with the review. So before going into the film, I looked on Wikipedia to see if there were any great reviews done, a la not cool. And all there was on the bit in Wikipedia, the drop down bit that says reception, Airplane Mode does not have enough reviews to have an approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and the film does not have a Metacritic page either. Of the film's sole professional review, Crooked Marquis' Eric D. Snyder gave it a D+, concluding, "We may think that as a society we have done nothing to deserve the image of a lactating Nick Swardson, but we are fooling ourselves. This is who we are." A really harrowing review. So the opening credits starts with a cartoon version of those flight attendant guides, you know, when they say, oh, in the event of an emergency, it's a cartoon version of that. And then there's a cartoon priest who gets a cartoon boner. So already we're off to a strong start. Oh, and then a woman's boobs inflate in the cartoon as well. So within the first 90 seconds, we are treated to a fart joke. And then, we're still on the opening credits part, by the way, everything starts exploding, and then the film begins. So Logan Paul is FaceTiming an Australian girl who is revealed to be his girlfriend, and he starts lubing up his hand in anticipation for a wank while she is about to get her boobs out on FaceTime. And then this boy, who I have never ever seen before on YouTube, bursts in the room and starts shouting. This film is filled with those performances wherein people think that if you just start talking really loudly, it's automatically funny. I don't know who this person is, but already I hate them and everything about them, everything they have done previously and everything they will continue to do in the future. I hate all of it. Delete, let's start again on humanity. So the Australian girlfriend is put off, so Logan's trying to get her tits out again. And then Lele Pons comes through the window. Now, I have actually prided myself on never watching anything Lele Pons has done or starred in other than other YouTubers talking about how awful she is. And all that hard work is going to be ruined with this film, so thank you, Logan. Lele starts filming Logan Paul masturbating, whacking off, and Logan notices, and then they fight and she starts shouting, and honestly she's every bit as awful as I expected her to be. She is the visual and audible depiction of a headache. I already know from about 2 seconds of screen time that I don't like her either. Has Lele Pons ever spoken at a reasonable volume in her life? So thankfully Lele leaves and is replaced by some bloke, a friend of Logan's, telling Logan that his girlfriend probably has a dick. I'm not sure what I'm meant to do with that information. Then some other girl comes in and she looks like she should have been in Twilight, and then this bloke comes in and he looks like the third Hemsworth brother, so there's that. Everyone then starts screaming about there being a social media convention, and then the boy who I said that I already hate, he's a virgin, and he comes in, he starts screaming about being a virgin as well. I had this problem when I was talking to my friend on FaceTime. When I was writing this review, I was so incredibly fucking miserable. I didn't find any of it funny apart from the bits with Vitaly, but we'll get to that in a minute. I found it was so miserable, I was so upset. But as soon as I started relaying the information to my mate, I couldn't stop laughing. Like, it's funny when you talk about it, but the end result isn't actually funny. Let's keep going. So with all the screaming, I was 5 minutes into the video, I was already starting to get a migraine, like I couldn't see out of one eye, which was a blessing in this film. It's revealed in a flashback that Logan Paul is scared of flying because he jumped out of a tree once and broke his femur bones. Then one of the characters says to Logan, and I quote, "Pull your pants up, those scars bring out the bitch in you." And they all start laughing and yelling like this is the funniest thing they've ever heard. It's like when boomers hear Peter Kay shout garlic bread. They're laughing so hard. Am I going insane here? I just wrote for this bit. I'm so confused by life. How is anything real? You can hear the desperation in my text. So Logan starts yelling at all of them to stop jumping and yelling and jumping, because the house has termites, and then to emphasise this incredibly important plot point, I'm sure, we're treated to some CGI footage of 2 termites having sex and other termites filming them. It's termites filming a porno. Who was the target audience for this film? As in, I'm pretty sure Logan's audience at the time, this was filmed in 2016, it was released in 2019, Logan's audience at the time was primarily little kids. Lele Pons, I think her audience too is little kids. It's so confusing how like some of these YouTubers, the ones that appear in this film, are always marketed and presented like on the YouTube trending page as the marketable, kid-friendly bunch, but then they're always doing weird stuff. I don't understand it. So anyway, yeah, there's the CGI termite boning sequence, which arguably is one of the more interesting parts of this film, if not the most interesting part, and then the floorboards break and they all fall down. So new scene, the virgin boy, and I am refusing to learn the names of anyone in this film unless I already know about them previously in real life. He's talking to Logan about being a virgin, badgering Logan about Logan not going to the convention because Logan's scared of flying. But then Logan finds out that the convention is being held in Australia where his online girlfriend lives, and then he gets a boner. Like, boxers, stretching, to that sound effect too. And it's a very generous boner, I might add as well. Of course it is. He gets a boner from that information alone, that something's being held in Australia. He gets a boner for Australia. Thank God, by the way, this film is only 80 minutes long. It's shorter than Shane Dawson's film, but somehow arguably worse. So Logan tells his girlfriend that he can come to Australia to see her. They end the call, and then he picks up his bottle of lube and he starts talking to the lube, and the lube, like the head of the lube, because it's one of those pump bottles, begins talking back to him. Logan, I know that this was filmed in 2016, but why are you doing this to me? Why are you making stupid words come out of my mouth in a stupid order? So now they're in a cab on the way to the airport, and the cab driver offers them cocaine because if something's random, it must be funny. And then it's revealed that Vitaly, let's try and go with that for this video. Tana, Vitaly is going to be on the plane with them. Is it wrong that Vitaly's part in this film was the only part I was looking forward to? YouTuber Vitaly, by the way, the one that did all those pranks and then threatened to cut Joey Salad's head off and fuck his skull and then kiss his mother or fuck his mother. I don't know. It was a whole thing that happened a few years ago. Hilarious, by the way. Concerning, but hilarious. So Vitaly's part is something that I am looking forward to. He's so genuinely insane. He's a legitimate psychopath, I think. It might make the film funny. And then they cut to showing Vitaly in a straitjacket with he looks like Hannibal Lecter or someone out of Con Air. Okay, so then in the next bit, there's a daughter at the airport and she snogs both of her parents. Imagine for a second, if you will, little thought experiment, you being that actress and sitting at home watching TV, watching something on Netflix, wishing that, oh boy, I mean, I'm a struggling actress, but I wish I was in that show on Netflix. What do people like watching? I don't fucking know. Stranger Things is that sort of thing. Never watched it, don't care, didn't ask, don't want to know, probably should. Imagine you're that actress, then you get a call from your agent. You've been out of work for like 2 months. You're begging to get any bit part that's going to give you a couple $100 so you can pay off some bills because you bought too much stuff or you went out drinking on the weekend. And your agent's like, I've got a part for you. It's in a YouTuber movie. And you're like, what? What is it? Anything. I will take anything. I'm so lost and confused and alone. And your agent's like, okay, well, you're this random girl at the airport. Okay, sounds good. And I'm going to need you to snog your parents, not your real parents, not your biological ones, just your in-film parents. They're about 30 years older than you. Both of them, by the way, the mum and the dad. What'd you say? And you're just there like, how much? Full tongue, by the way. Now, here's that man who was in the news. You remember that man who was in the news? And he went, hide your kids, hide your wife, they're raping everyone. You remember that guy? From a decade ago. He's in this film from 2016. I don't know why either. Ha 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 ha. Thank you, Logan. Very cool. And here's ladies' favourite, David Dobrik, doing what he usually does. Nothing. I shouldn't say that, actually. I don't want David Dobrik's insane fangirl army after me. He's just in the film and he's not doing much. That adds more to his favour than if he had a bigger role, trust me. And here's ladies' favourite from the Stone Age, Casey Neistat, complete with his Neolithic charm. I'm just really out here trying to upset people. How much were all these people paid to do this film, do you reckon? Sound off in the comments below, I want to hear your thoughts. Then there's this weird slow motion bit of Logan going towards the plane and freaking out about it whilst David Dobrik yells in his face. And everyone's yelling and screaming. You can't hear them, thankfully, but everyone's just yelling and screaming. And in the background, every day we stray further from God's light. Oh, and here comes Lele Pons yelling again. Oh, look, she tripped up. Oh, she did a funny. Ha ha. Thank you, Lele, very cool. At this point, in the film, they show that they lock the doors, and I got genuinely happy and excited. Like, oh God, thank you. There is a God. There really is a God. I'm bathing in their light right now. Lele doesn't get on the plane. Brilliant. That's her role over the film. You poor, sweet summer child. So Logan's on the plane, but someone has died, and then he gets a text from his mum, who is also shouting, but in text form, in caps lock. The mum, Pam, as most of us know her as Pam, is upset about the floorboards being broken, and then she accidentally sends him some sex, saying, well, there's a lewd pic as well, her face photoshopped onto a naked body. You can't see the tits and the vag, but it's naked, all the same. Saying, I know you miss sucking on these titties. Like, someone actually photoshopped Pam's face onto that naked body, added that bit of text, and put this in a film that her son was in. Does anyone else not find that a bit odd? Some random lady comes along and starts shouting as well. I'm beginning to notice a theme here. There's a pilot with the name Penis, and the other pilot has a pronounced lisp, and that's all we're getting for that joke. There's not even really a joke. The man at some point says, no, my name is Penis, it's Celtic. I'm not sure what I'm meant to be doing with any of this information. Some old lady is trying to get on with David Dobrik, because again, he's just ladies' favourite David Dobrik. I think that's the joke there. And then I wrote down, oh, the shouty lady, because a different shouty lady sat down next to Logan on the plane. An attractive shouty lady. The shouty lady is called, okay, I've forgotten already and didn't write it down, but you can all go to hell if you think I'm going to skip back to find out. Sums up my mood. Anyway, she has matching femur scars, so I made the assumption that, well, they're probably going to have sex at some point in this film. Am I right? Then there's this flight attendant, this man who is mentally fucking Logan, but Logan can hear him because he can hear gay thoughts. And then Logan lets it be known to the flight attendant, hey, I can hear you. And then the flight attendant screams and runs away. Everyone is screaming in this film, but it should be me screaming. Me. At this point, I was unhappy to find out that Lele Pons actually somehow did get onto the plane and wasn't stranded on an island in the middle of the ocean. Look, Lele, everyone in this film, I'm sure you're really nice people. Probably, maybe, probably not actually, probably not. But let's say that you are all really nice people. Don't take any, I don't mean to cause offence, don't take any of this personally when I say that I hate all of you. I hate each and every one of you. I hate you all so much that I copy and pasted this bit from a short story actually, called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. There are 387.44 million miles of printed circuits in wafer-thin layers that fill my complex. If the word hate was engraved on each nanoangstrom of those hundreds of millions of miles, it would not equal 1/1 billionth of the hate I feel for you humans at this micro instant. Hate. That's how much I hate everyone, except maybe David Dobrik, in this. Just kidding, not psychotic. Anyway, that got a bit intense, so let's liven it back up again. Nobody puts their phone on airplane mode, so the pilots get electrocuted and die. Honestly, they're probably the luckiest actors in this movie so far, getting to bow out after 1/4 of the film length. Oh yeah, we're only 1/4 of the way into this. The pilots themselves die in a compromising position, so the air stewardess /flight attendants don't think that they're actually dead. They just think that they're sucking each other's dicks. Then people just start partying on a plane. Like, you know, a girl starts twerking in an older man's face, and there's cocaine and there's tits. We see tits and there's hookers. And the old lady here is accosting poor David Dobrik, lady's favourite, with some dildos. Honestly, Dave, how much did they pay you to be in this film? Because I assure you right now, it is not enough. Some girl tries to put a dildo up a man's ass, and then the plane itself fucks a cloud vagina. Here's the cloud vagina, and here's my hands are fucked. Here's the plane, and it goes in and it goes, ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm not... Why am I doing this to myself? Why have I done this to myself? This whole sequence and the beginning sequence, it's like a brain-damaged attempt at doing a Monty Python bit. I'm sorry, but I'm also not sorry because that was really accurate. Some girl is stealing alcohol, the male flight attendant finds her doing so, starts having a go at her, and then laughs whilst he's saying his lines. It's not a bit. I assume that's not part of the script. He laughs, and they kept that blooper in the final edit of the film. Could the makers of the film not give any less of a fuck about this? Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense now. Logan has been busy telling the shouty woman next to him all about his balls. Honestly, where is the fiction in this? This is something that real Logan Paul would probably just do anyway. How is there still 50 minutes to this film? The female flight attendant finally notices that the pilots are dead. Vitaly has been on this plane with a guard, and the guard has been harassing him by shoving food into his, mouth, guard, visor thing. The flight attendant asks the guard to come look at yeah, I'm really losing the ability to say words right now. The guard goes to look at the dead pilots. Logan Paul follows them. The flight attendant accidentally drops a little thing. It goes into Vitaly's hand. Vitaly will use this to break out of his constraints later. Constraints, restraints, same fucking difference. The guard is like, hey, this is fine. I can fly the plane. Or he flies jets or something? Yes, he can fly jets, so he's like, I can fly the plane. But then Vitaly kills him, and then Vitaly knocks out Logan Paul. A baby goes missing on the plane, and a man finds the baby and starts trying to breastfeed it. Like, there's a fake nipple with breast milk coming out. It hits the flight attendant, it hits the baby's face. This is what we call in filmmaking a Shane Dawson moment. In cinema, this is known as Shane service. I genuinely felt sorry for the baby. Like, look at the baby's face. That is not a happy child. The baby is upset. The baby is trying not to cry. I was sitting here wondering, can I call Childline on a film that came out in 2016? The baby is distraught at having fake breast milk from a breastfeeding man squirt in its... This isn't right. Who greenlit this? Can I donate money to the baby's future therapy funds? Logan Paul then tries to give CPR to the dead pilots, and there's so much spit and dribble, it's like a bukkake scene. Logan goes to ask his virgin friend if he can help, and then the virgin friend just takes a selfie with the dead pilots, and this really says a lot about society. Logan decides bravely to fly the plane. Virgin boy decides bravely to lose his virginity. I predicted maybe the virgin boy will shag that horny granny who keeps trying to shag David Dobrik. I was wrong. Thankfully, at this point in the film, Logan says the shouty woman's name. Her name is Jenna. And then he cries, and then he shows Jenna the dead pilots, and then she starts yelling. Me just looking at my notes, like, and then what happened? Oh yeah, no, she starts yelling again. I didn't need to look at my notes for that. I could have just fucking guessed that, and there's a 100% success rate with that kind of guess for this type of film. Logan remembers when he broke his legs, the doctor seeing his broken femurs and throwing up on them. He remembers that, and then present day Logan farts. This film, it has everything. The flight attendants are kidnapped by Vitaly, who isn't even acting, by the way. Do you know what fucking annoys me? Do you know what annoys me? Pyrocynical made this exact video 1 year ago. I watched this exact video 1 year ago. Pyrocynical said that Vitaly is Russia's Nicolas Cage. I laughed hard at that. It's so apt. I commented on his video saying how good that joke was. When I was on video chat with my friend last night going through the script, describing Vitaly to him, he said, oh, so he's like Nicolas Cage. But I can't make that joke, Pyrocynical did it first. So there's that, I'm throwing that one in there. I don't think that Vitaly knew he was on a film set. I don't think he understood that he was in a film. He threatens to feed a dog cat food, and it was the first time I laughed. Logan and shouty woman Jenna manage to get through to airport control in Australia. There's this Australian man, he keeps shouting as well. Logan breaks the autopilot lever, and Logan breaks the autopilot lever. Is it lever or lever? Lever. Pull the lever, Kronk. Wrong lever. It's lever. Okay. The Australian guy keeps yelling throughout all of this. Vitaly throws the female flight attendant out of the plane whilst yelling, "It's just a prank." I would have paid more money to see Vitaly star and create his own film. I would support that if... The problem with Vitaly is he's genuinely a psychopath, right? So very funny on film, by the way, him pretending to be acting like a psychopath, but he actually is one in real life. And whilst that's funny when he's doing weird pranks and threatening to cut the heads off of other YouTubers, whilst that's all well and good and fun and games, he does these pesky things sometimes, such as assaulting random joggers in a park. So it's annoying, because it's like, if you weren't a total dick, I could totally support you. But morally and ethically, I can't really. You've put me in a conundrum, Vitaly. Thank you very much for that. Such a hard life I lead. Virgin Boy tries to shag some random woman, and then Vitaly opens a plane door and the plane starts going crazy because wind's being blown around everywhere. A guy, one of the guys from the beginning, manages to fall out of the plane door but shuts the emergency door, so the door shuts but he falls out of the plane. Another lucky escape. Virgin Boy knocks out the woman he's trying to shag accidentally, and her name's Brittany. And someone really does a Chris Crocker Leave Britney Alone impersonation in 2016. I don't think that would have even been relevant in 2013. Turns out the third Hemsworth brother is a junior pilot, so he goes to save the day, but then Vitaly quickly stabs him. Vitaly has put chloroform in the oxygen supply mask things and then tells everyone over the intercom to put on the masks. And they do, so that the whole plane gets knocked out apart from Logan and shouty woman Jenna. Logan and Vitaly fight, and Vitaly stabs Logan, and then he starts drinking vodka whilst he's fighting, and you can tell that he's having a lot of fun whilst playing this role. And it is genuinely funny to watch as well. Vitaly looks like he's having the time of his life, murdering people. Vitaly reveals that there is no social media convention happening in Australia, it was just a prank. He wants to kill all of, Logan Paul and his friends so he can steal their followers. It's just a prank. Strictly speaking, this entire setup is actually a joke. And I almost laughed. I can't praise it higher than that. So Logan and the other flight attendant almost fall out of the plane as well because Vitaly... does it matter? They almost fall out of the plane, but then Logan's parrot... Maverick, his old parrot, Maverick. The parrot saves them both. There's no way that I can make any of this sound normal. I'm not even trying, really. Sadly, Vitaly gets stabbed and he falls out of the plane. A lot of people just fall out of planes. I didn't realise this was such a problem being on planes. He falls out of the plane into the spinny fan bit on the underside of the wing, so he gets chopped to pieces and the blood sprayed everywhere. That's nice. It's like the meat grinders in Abe's Odyssey, if you ever played that. There's 19 minutes left of this film, but the only good character has unfortunately died, so RIP, I guess. The plane door then comes off and it hits the spinny thing. Can you tell I am something of a junior pilot myself? Hits the turbine thing, that explodes. So Logan and Jenna just start yelling at each other. It goes on for far too long. It's not funny. Sort it out. Some random passenger on the plane actually shouts as well, "What the fuck are you two talking about?" That is the audience manifested onto the big screen. Logan tries to land the plane and everyone uses this as an opportunity to scream for about 1 minute straight. I'm not messing around. Everyone just screams in this film. But then he does land the plane and save the day by watching a YouTube tutorial. And then an old granny gives an old granddad a blowjob. At this point in my script, all I said was, "Oh God, why isn't it over yet?" The creepy breast milk man steals that woman's baby and then gives her a jar of his own semen so she can make a new baby, and then he takes it back and drinks his own jizz, and the lady cries. I might cry too. Logan decides to let the virgin friend shag his Australian girlfriend to lose his virginity because Logan likes Jenna, the shouty woman, better, so he goes off to find her. I can feel my brain cells dying. Then at the end, everyone has sex. Virgin boy and Australian girl have sex. Logan and the woman have sex, and it goes on for far too long. All I said, ironically in caps, shouting myself, was, why does everyone in this film just shout all the time? Stop, I hate it, stop it. And that's the end of the film, and when the film ended, I was just left with a feeling of dread. I don't know why this film exists. It is worse than the St. Dawson film. I was exhausted doing the review. I was exhausted reciting the script to my friend. I'm exhausted doing this the next day. It feels like every happy moment that is yet to come in my life from now on will be ever so slightly diminished because I watched this film. I feel like I aged watching this. And that's all. That's the entire review. If you enjoyed it, do remember to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you once again to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. Follow me on Instagram. Logan Paul, if you ever watch this, I want you to apologise to me directly on Instagram. See you guys next time. Bye!